Chandler here. We're approaching July 1st, which means we're approaching July 4th. It's our independence. And of course, this is 2020, the most interesting year I think we've had in a long time. But when you think of July 4th, what do you think of? You think of independence. You think of freedom, probably of your life and of your family. But think about this. Are most of us really free if we have to work continually and don't have an option not to? And because of the COVID, some of us didn't have the option whether you could work or not. Or maybe you could work, but nobody was going to come, and things got a lot more stressful. So I think it underscores anytime these sorts of things happens that you must do what? You must have a plan B. You must have passive income. You must have other sources of income when this happens. Now, you want the time off, but you don't want to have to necessarily pay for the time off, right? So how do you go about doing this? Well, if you're in a service sector or doing something where you're a professional, doctor, lawyer, or something like that, which a lot of us are here, then that means your time is taken up doing something very purposeful, but yet the moment you're not doing it for any reason, other family members, life, virus, or whatever, then your income doesn't just stop, but it probably goes exponentially backwards. So remember, the purpose of Catch Fire Coaching is that we go exponentially forward and mitigate risks. So play like your best friend's an actuary. And an actuary just studies statistics to figure out the probability of something happening. That's where life insurance makes a lot of money, right? Or funeral homes, or certain situations, because they know the probability of the statistics. Well, throughout your business life, 20, 30, 40 years, is a probability of needing certain vacations, certain illnesses, certain sicknesses, times however many people that depend upon you. So if that's the case, then what are some of the ways you can get rid of it? One of them that I've been showing you and teaching you is e-commerce, selling online, Amazon, Walmart, platforms like Shopify, and how these work together and how you can leverage them too. And do so, frankly, easier than what you ever did, probably in practice. Another one, of course, is real estate. No, I don't mean you have to become a real estate agent or broker and run around showing homes. I don't mean that at all. But I mean in terms of real estate investing. For years, I didn't really know what a real estate investor was or what they even did. Okay, you have some money and give it into real estate, but that's not exactly true. There actually is some work and steps involved and some skill and some knowledge. And I've been fortunate enough to learn some smart folks and figure a few things out to be able to make that work in various sectors, right? And there's a lot of sectors, believe it or not, to real estate. And anytime we have a turmoil like we do now in 2020, it doesn't decrease the opportunities. It actually increases the opportunities if you've kept your eye on the ball all along, which you can do part-time while you're being a doctor, lawyer, candlestick maker. Okay? But you need to be involved in studying those things. Instead of watching some TV show or Netflix, you study, right? You get on this stuff and you start working on it. There's many great books out there. There's many great books on notes, mortgage notes, one note at a time by Dave Van Horn out of the Northeast, the Philadelphia area. There's another one, One House at a Time by John L. Schwab. There's another one by Mark Zuber, Seven Houses. I think the 7 Houses to 7 Figures, or 7 Houses to Ultimate Freedom, something like that. And he's got a YouTube channel as well. And these are just places just to get started. My good friend Jim Ingersoll on the East Coast in Richmond runs a huge investment group with tens of thousands of people in it. Any of those places you can get your feet wet for about $10, the cost of maybe 2 Starbucks coffees. Only has infinite returns. And that's just to start. Now, if you want to go deeper than that, then certainly I can take you much, much deeper than that with a lot of our friends and experts, and we can go deeper than that. Because if you have a little bit of money to invest, $10,000, $30,000, then you can do everything from turnkey rentals, where you're technically a landlord, But you can have turnkey rentals making you cash flow. Cash flow is defined by $350 or more per month beyond whatever you pay the management company, beyond whatever you pay the insurance company, beyond whatever you pay the bank or whoever you borrowed the money from and the interest, and beyond the maintenance, right? Beyond all of that stuff, and making $350 or more per month. So it's pretty good deal, isn't it? It's actually a business because it's cash flowing consistently. That would be a turnkey rental. Mortgage notes are typically where you're the bank, if you will. You buy these discounted notes on a house, and maybe it's a note that's been out there 20 years and has 10 years left on it, and you're making, a 9 to 10% return. And you go, really? People are paying 9% on their houses? Oh yeah, absolutely. But a lot of times they might be paying 5 or 6 or 7 or 8% for various reasons. But you bought it at a discount, which makes it the 9, 10, or 11 or 12% you see, right? So that's another way that you can exponentially make money. Now, I would never teach or show you anything I don't do myself. I've been doing notes for years. Matter of fact, the first year I bought 30 of them. A lot of notes, which means houses. If anything went wrong, I have a house. I take over a house. So I've done foreclosures where I had to take over the house. Then it's called an REO. And at that point, I can re-note it out, which is a legal document. No, I'm not a lawyer, and you don't need to be one either. But there's legal things to follow through, and so I can note it out and make more money that way. Or I can just turn around and sell it like a real estate agent, of which I'm not, and make money doing it that way. You can also have notes where you turn around and sell them. Buy them discount and sell them. And you actually make a commission. And no, you don't have to be a realtor to do it. Commission is usually about $3,500 to $5,000. It's not bad. I know people make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, and that's all they do is just flip notes. So I want you to think about that. The turnkey rentals, of course, is cash flowing, but it also is usually paying about 20% of taxes. Versus if you're in a higher income tax bracket as a doctor, lawyer, or candlestick maker, you might be paying 35 to 42% taxes versus 20. So you make money that way. Has appreciation, could be a few percent to the last few years, especially in Texas, 10% a year. Skyrockets, right? Wake up a few days later and your house is like worth a lot of money. But it doesn't do you any good when you live in it because you got to live somewhere, so you can't capture it. But what if it's a bunch of rental homes? Oh my goodness, you could capture that. You could sell it. You could capture that money, which is where Mark Zuber talks about turning 7 houses into basically $7 million and apartment complexes and other stuff. With just the power of a little time and a lot of compounding interest, that can be you. That's me. That's all of us. I can show you how to do this. And here's the thing, you want to get started now. I wish I'd had people training me on how to do this stuff when I was in my mid-20s starting in chiropractic practice, or my 30s. Oh crap, even my early 40s, 42, when I was opening up Avanti Skin Centers. All good things. I wouldn't take any of that stuff back, but I wished all along I had been investing in my true future in various types of real estate, because there's just no better way to leverage. There's a reason the wealthy that we've all heard of, or you might even know, almost always has a lot of real estate of some sort. Now, there are certain types of real estate that you probably don't want to get into. I don't think I would be investing in a mall. I don't think I'd be investing where there's a whole bunch of other people involved. I don't think I'd be investing where there's a fund. A fund just means somebody's taking a cut and a percentage off the top, and your money's mixed with a lot of other people's money, kind of like a bad soup, and it pays you dividends or pays you interest. You've heard of REITs, real estate investment trusts. They kind of do the same thing. Stockbroker might go to them and it'd be a public offering and you do that. I'm not talking about that kind of real estate. Yeah, sometimes it works, but almost in every single one of those cases, you don't own it. If anything goes wrong, you don't own it. You don't get your money out of it. The kind I'm talking about is no more than 75% loan to value, right? That if anything does go wrong, you get 100% value to cover your 75% and even make a profit. Not that you want it to fail, but you can even make a profit when that happens. And then you turn it. All those other scenarios, you lose. Absolutely, you lose. Maybe the guy who put the deal together loses a little bit, but you lose. There's no way to creatively or even easily get out of it for you, the bank, or anybody. It's a fund, it's a REIT, it's a messed up soup. And that's how they buy these big conglomerates. Now, I'm not saying that's bad in all situations. Hey, if you got 5, 10, or more millions of dollars to play with, and you're not a lawyer, candlestick maker, or a doctor anymore, then go ahead. But that's not the first thing on the hierarchy. It'd be build the base, a passive income coming in consistently that might take you 30 minutes or an hour at the most once a month to check on everything and check on the numbers and the graphs and the charts and your bank accounts as it comes in, and then go about your business. And then there's many ways to improve upon it. Like right now, golly, a lot of us can refinance. You had a couple of homes for a couple of years, you can turn around and refinance it. 5.99%, all of a sudden becomes 3.5%. Take the spread, and you're just making $300 more per house times however many houses. You see what I'm saying? Lots of huge opportunity. Hey, if a C plus student like myself, lifelong chiropractor, and a consultant on practice management and on marketing can do this, and of course I sell on Amazon, right? You know about my mushrooms and things we sell on Amazon, then I know you can too. Absolutely know you can. Now, yes, I took courses, I took seminars, I invested in myself, and I spent countless thousands of hours doing this over the last 7 or 8 years now myself and putting my money where my mouth is. Yes, I bought a few notes I probably shouldn't have bought at the time where I was moving too quickly. And even then, I didn't lose. I just had to work my way out of it over a little bit of time, and I was still out of it. So these are all things you should and could be doing, because I promise you, you're going to wake up and not be 30 or 40, maybe not even 50, maybe 60, maybe 70, and you're still going to be a candlestick maker, still going to be practicing, still going to be a lawyer, wondering what in the heck? What in the heck? What do I do now? And every time there's a reset, you get pushed further back. And then the country has to charge you more taxes to make up the difference when they dole out the trillions, make no mistake. Or keep printing digital money, right, which doesn't work either, and creating inflation. Well, you can't ride it up on your candlestick maker or your lawyer or your practice because you can't charge enough to meet or beat inflation and net out more than that on a year-by-year basis. You can't in the corporate world do it either. You can't do it if you're the business owner, but you can do it in real estate. You can do it in certain businesses that will follow the inflation trend up and become worth more. And as they do, it will carry you right on in to if you live to be 100, right? So these are the things you want. Not to mention, while you're young enough to enjoy them, go look at the waterfall and Telluride. Go whitewater rafting, wherever that picture is back behind me. There at the Snake River a couple years ago. Go to Boreas Pass in the fall and see the leaves changing. Go to southwestern Colorado, Steve DeHurry did, one of my favorite photographers, and taking that picture. You can go do all these things and do them months on end if you have a laptop and computer and you have some of this knowledge. Hey, so I've told you some of this. I've given you some of the principles. If any of that sounds interesting to you, by all means, all you have to do is direct message me, private message me, or send a reply to the email, or go to info@cashfirecoaching.com and go, hey, do you have a course for this? And the answer is, yes, I do. Hey, can you hold my hand through this? Real life examples. Yes, we can. And pros and cons. Absolutely. And no, I'm not offering anything from the SEC. No, I'm not offering anything in the stock market. No, I'm not a broker going to make commissions on anything that I might show you or say, why this might be good. That's up to you. You're plenty smart. My job is like a smorgasbord, is just to present the education with no strings attached so that you can see what's available and see exactly what I did and what I did with other people around me. But I didn't commingle my money. A partnership's just another word for a divorce waiting to happen, and you got to figure your way out of it. That's not what you want in a lot of those other types of real estates. You want to own it, you want to control it. Not only has it been one of the keys to us getting free, our family, but also my mother, who needed the $4,200 a month just to take care of my dad in an Alzheimer's dementia unit when they didn't have it, because he was what? He was a doctor. He was practicing. He never invested money. He might have saved money, but he never invested money in that way. It was commingled, and you never could make more than 6 or 7%. So you never were going to get there. But fortunately, a few houses and a note or two, and it nets out my mother $4,200 net, no problems. Several years into it for her, that totally covers my dad. What would that do for you? What would that do for your family? What would that do for your monthly vacations? What would that do for just, golly, doing something else or giving you an escape hatch, right? Because you probably know by now, e-commerce, I believe, is an escape hatch in a business, an online business. So if you are a healthcare candlestick maker or something like that, well then, do telehealth, educate them online, and then of course real estate. But remember, real estate, whatever money you earn from that passively, is going to be taxed much, much less than what you do physically every day. So not only is it easier on you, you're going to get taxed a lot less, which is found money. You can do this stuff in your self-directed IRAs. Oh yeah, yeah. And you can turn it into a Roth. Absolutely. We can get into all that. We will get into all that. And then you're all of a sudden you're not being taxed at all. It's just compounding every year. I always wondered how the rich get richer, or how the rich even got rich in the first place. Now I know. But but it's hard to know where to start. It's hard to know where to look. So, hey, I'm a chiropractor just like a lot of y'all. I'm no smarter than anybody else. I've worked hard. Thought that was all you're supposed to do. But there are some things you can do along with it that'll make it actually come out. Other ways of protecting it as well. These are all the things I want you to know and see what's possible. And let me tell you what, I didn't get started into my 40s, mid 40s. Boy, I wished I had started in my 20s. I have a couple friends that did. Oh my goodness, the things that they are doing, the foundations that are building, the lives they are saving. It is amazing. I have one friend, he's 38 years old. He's the head and president of the Christian Media International Association, building churches around the world, saving hundreds of people per day. The Bible and the good news translated in 27 languages. All because he has the money, he has the foresight, he has the business acumen, and he's done enough in real estate to be able to do this. Wow. And if not you, maybe your children, right? Anyway, it's pretty exciting, and I think you need to know about that. Some of you have seen some of that at one of our e-commerce seminars when I even brought on somebody that was showing you notes. Most of you had never seen anything like that. Somebody else, turnkey investing, because I wanted you to see what's possible. That wasn't just about making a few thousand a month, or 100,000 a year, or even 200,000 a year, or even like my cousin Billy, 100 million a year, right? It was about taking whatever hard-earned assets you made and making it work for you and leveraging it and producing other phenomenal things perfectly designed for you. Hey, it's Chandler George. If any of this interests you, by all means, let me know. And if it doesn't interest you today, pray on it, think on it. Maybe you dream about it. And maybe we planted a seed for you to start. Because I remember my parents having a rent house when I was a kid. But it was just one. But they did all the painting. And I remember they even took the grapes in the back to make Mustang grape jelly. And I don't know if they made any money. They turned around and sold it. And they're probably very happy about that, right? But if you do it the way we're going to show you, and all these other ways around it with notes, I promise, if anyone has more than $10,000 to invest, or you haven't invested in something, or you're able to move it or change it, which is what I did too, by the way. I had a lot of muni bonds, and I was able to move them and change them over a course of time. And instead of getting 4% interest deductible, which maybe was the same as 5 or 6, I was able to turn it into much, much, much higher rates of return. So sometimes it's not even making more money, it's just taking what you have and making what you should be making with it in a safer way. Because if anything happened to those muni bonds, I was just out. If Miami decided not to pay the muni bonds, I'm toast, right, by the tax authority, which in these times can certainly happen. But it wasn't going to happen when I can take over the houses. And I have ways out of the houses and creativity. And you're in charge of it, and people can do it now. I don't know how to even swing a hammer, but I know people. I'm connected to people. We'll connect it with you too. Anyway, it's Chandler George. We won't start the teaching here, but I want you to see what's possible. On this July 4th, the goal is, let's stay free as a country. I think that's first. Let's stay free in our mind. And let's actually be free. If you're going to practice, be a candlestick maker or a lawyer, do it because you want to, not because you don't have another choice anymore.